All right. One of the ways I relate to what you're saying viscerally is an exercise that I've developed with people who are having a pattern, as most of us have, of repetitive pattern of holding back full self-expression. Everybody's got a different version. We all have a version of that. Do you have a version of that where you, or you are you past that? Holding back in any way,
Um,
suppressed in any way, repetitive patterns in any way. I'd like to
well,
think of,
I would say based on symptoms that can show the repetitive pattern.
yeah,
So my symptom is my lower back,
okay,
and it started when I was 12. You don't need the story,
okay,
but not being supported is the theme
okay,
of that. So
okay,
that would be
yeah,
creating that pattern.
okay. So actually, I'd like to do something with this, if you're willing. I also know about the lower back being a symbol of physical support, trusting your foundation, and finances, and all that. I'm aware of the first chakra and all of the related issues. Now, can you, without going into the long story, but the short story version of what happened, remember either an incident or a series of incidents where you felt like you couldn't trust what you stood on, or you were kind of oppressed by a father or mother figure, and something happened where you just couldn't trust your own standing, to use that language? Is there anything that physically happened once or over a period of time that you can identify?
Yes. And I was 12, sixth grade,
Yeah.
and was a really good pitcher,
Okay.
baseball pitcher,
Gotcha. Yeah.
fast pitch.
Yeah.
And back then in the 80s, it was not cool to be a girl and on the baseball team.
Right. Gotcha.
And so during practices, I was going to be pitcher, pitcher, pitcher. And then it came to our first game, and we had a new coach that said, "Girls don't pitch."
Got it.
And he sent me out to right field.
Okay. Great. I wanted to work with this. Okay. Let's work with this. Do you remember his name?
Cabbage Prue.
Okay. Cool. What I'd like you to do for this exercise is to call him by name, and
Mhm.
I'd like you for this particular exercise to do something physical, to take your right arm, which is, of course, the male arm or the extending outward arm, reaching out the assertive side of your body to the uh, upper right part of your screen. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, that's right. And saying these words
hold on.
first, say his name. Upper crew, I didn't quite get it, but say his name out loud.
Cabbage Prue,
I now address you.
I now address you.
When you put me down when I was 12 and said,
When you put me down and I was 12 and said, "Girls don't pitch, get out in right field,"
it impacted me.
it impacted me.
Matter of fact, my lower back has never been the same since.
As a matter of fact, my lower back hasn't been the same since.
And I made a decision back then. You can let go of the arm for a moment. I made a decision back then that in relationship to me trusting what I stand on or not trusting what I stand on, that I'm not good enough or I have to be different than who I truly, something happened in your thinking and your speaking and your actions and your interactions and your lower back. So I want to hear it. Not a long story, but the shortest version, and how it impacted your relationships. Maybe you being more female or male or not trusting one side of it. Probably all kinds of things. But what would you say to him, as though you were now putting it back in his face, saying, "Hey, man, this is how this impacted me all these years." If you wanted to just get past this, we don't need a long story. But how along with the lower back
Right.
has it impacted your thinking, your speaking, your actions, and your interactions? Yeah.
So this has impacted me over this last 40 years. It definitely has encouraged me to be the heavy hitter for people that are being bullied.
You know? Okay.
Stop the
Yeah.
a cycle of me bullying people, because I
Yeah.
realized what that felt like.
Hmm.
Um, I realize that proving people that I can do something has been not always serving me, but I know now why that is. I'm going to prove you that I can do this. Don't tell me that I can't, but it's made me stronger, but also has probably put up a little obstacle in me allowing help.
Right,
Also,
that's
I'm
what I
just
want.
realizing
That's
for the
exactly
first
what I want to get to. It's okay. I take this pain and turn your hand, your right hand now into an open chalice like this, your right hand open, and saying these words. In my being unwilling, unable to fully receive help, support, emotional support, abundance on all levels in all areas, in whatever way that makes sense to me, in taking on this pattern, this program, this pain. Now I'm going to take this pain, go like this. I take this pain,
I take this pain,
and I wad it up into an ugly ball,
I wound it up into a ugly ball,
and I send it
and I send it
back to the source. There goes that
back to source.
there she goes. Look at that arm throwing. I send
That's
it
right.
right. I send it back, both arms, back to where it came.
Back to where it came.
Heels of your hands up in the air, your heels of your feet down into the floor beneath you. Say these words. I have just sent
I have just sent
my attachment,
my attachment,
this old pattern
this old pattern
of resisting receiving support
of resisting receiving
somewhere else to play.
support somewhere else to play.
Today for me is a new day.
Today for me is a new day.
Take your hands and on your hips, go like this. Hip, hip.
Hip, hip. Hooray!
That's right. That's the next part. And now the next phrase is my new self-talk is regarding receiving. My renewing, my new version of how I see receiving. It's like you're choosing a new story. We move the energy physically and emotionally. There's a little bit of emotion there. Now it's time to declare, identify, and name my new self-talk in relationship to receiving is, not name it, whatever that might be. And like it's safe for me to receive fully in all walks of my life, or whatever. What is true for you? You say it. Your words, not mine words.
My new self-talk is I am going to allow offers to come in of being supported.
Yeah.
And I also will ask when I do need support.
Okay, so let's simplify the words. This is my presentation coaching coming on here. So you're doing the simplest, shortest, strongest version of those words where you don't have a lot of words. Too many words diffuses the impact. So you want
Yes.
you want to centralize the words in a way that you might say, I allow and ask for support. Something like that. Just very few words, but the essence of what you said. Something similar to that, but your version. I allow and ask for support, or it's safe for me to allow and ask for support, or it's easy and safe for me to ask and allow support, something like that. What brings true for you, your true resonance?
It is simple and easy to ask and receive support
Right.
from all sources.
Keep it simple. It's simple and easy to receive support. For me to receive support, you want to improve yourself. Okay, so now we're going to play with that. We're going to take the words and we're going to multi-sensorize it. First, say it again, but this time with strength and also using gestures that match what you're saying. You're writing the words down. That's good. It's simple and easy for me to receive support. As you see the words being formed, say them as you see the words being formed. It's simple and easy for me to receive support. And notice your reaction in the body as you say it. Go ahead. Hands making pictures of what you're saying. Go ahead.
It is simple and easy to receive support.
Yep. Let's include for me, because I think you want to really have you be the central character here. For me to receive support.
It is simple and easy for me to receive support.
Doesn't that feel good? Yeah, it's like it's a new modus operandi. We're going to start to encode it in the muscle memory, whispering it with the softest sound, yet the strongest gestures. Go ahead. Beautiful. Feel like you get a bit tearful when you say it. This is lovely. This is beautiful. Now mouthing it with no sound even, but the gesture is even clearer. Go ahead. Beautiful. And now no moving of the mouth, just the gestures themselves. So when you anchor that and you even just remember these gestures, you are creating this zonality, this tonality, this receptivity. So actually you're in the place of getting in the zone to receive support. Just the gestures, no, just the gestures. Beautiful. Now singing it 3 times, each time a little different than the time before.
It is simple to receive support.
Putting yourself this time.
Yes, yes. It is simple to receive support.
Simple and easy for me to receive.
Yes. It is simple and easy for me to receive support.
Look in my eyes. You're looking away. Oh, look into.
I'm looking at nature. I'm looking at a bird and getting that visual in me.
Even better, look at you when you say it. It's not about me. Okay. It's looking at you. Look at you when you say it so you can see yourself saying it. Yeah, go ahead. Sing it.
It is simple and easy for me to receive support.
2 more times.
It is simple and easy for me to receive support.
1 last time.
Way. It is simple. It is simple and easy for me to receive support.
Beautiful. Watch, we're really encoding this new program in the muscle memory. You can see what we're doing. I mean, I spent many years as a court jester, so it's not a problem at all for me to bring people into the velocity of ridiculosity. And that's what we're doing. The next thing is gibberish. Gibberish. If you have a dog, bat, bird, creature that had its own way of saying that, it's not English, it may sound something like, you know, your version of that, you know, gibberish. It feels true, not silly, it's true.
Right.
Yeah. Now your gestures are becoming, that was not just receiving support, that was bringing it down, baby. That was like bring it in, and you could feel that time you weren't just saying it, you were bringing it through. You know, it was a very different gesture along with this that you were doing before. It was bringing it in. I saw that, and you'll see it when you're recording. All right, and then you've written it down. Now simply utilizing a few bit more phrases here that helps encode this into the cellular memory. Now we want to say it as though you were the town herald, heralding the news for the whole town to hear on the top of the rooftop, first starting with trombone or trumpet, something like this, your version of this. And then what follows are the following words. The good news.
Oh, the good news of the day is Deanna Marie Courtney has found herself in the position of being simple and easy to receive support.
Good. Now we minimize the words again. She, Deanna, she finds it easy and simple to receive support. Yeah.
Okay. Hear ye. Deanna oops, I forgot. Is in a position. Deanna it is easy for Deanna to receive support.
And now we're going to do the royal we, all the parts of me that make up myself. We find it simple and easy to allow and ask for or receive support. Yeah, well, any version of that.
With the same trumpet?
No, no, the trumpet's finished.
Oh.
Now you're doing a royal we, that you're in a queenly,
Yes.
you're in a
Well,
queen state.
we find it simple and easy to receive support.
That's right. Feel how the whole neck became elongated in that one. These other tears.
Yes.
This is beautiful. Yeah, this is great. Tears of gratitude. And now they, if you can acknowledge it within you, within he, she, we, the, now they, if you want to have it be a dual process, we can acknowledge it in yourself, you want to acknowledge it in others.
They see how easy it is for Deanna to receive support.
Yeah, and now we slightly changed that one. They find it easy for them to receive support. It's not just about you now, it's about acknowledging in others as well as it's a dual reciprocal contract. So they find it easy for them to receive support. Yeah.
They find it easy for them to receive support.
Beautiful. Now we take all the things we've just shared. I shout.
Oh my, this is
Right. She, we, and they. It's about 12 different ways that we've just done this. So this is a great practice for you to practice daily. Not necessarily all of these daily. You might just do the gestures or just sing or shout underwater when you're in a room with lots of people. It could be anything. Make a painting, write the words on a painting, turn it into something colorful. Now, that's the after practice, the afterglow. For now, simply say to me, to you, to the self, to all selves, I. It's simple and it's simple and easy for me to allow and receive support. And you could go allow, receive. Sometimes you might say ask for support. You can change it. It doesn't matter that you say the same thing. It's not about being a robot at all. But the whole point of this last part of the exercise is for you to just feel what's shifted in you fully embodying this quality, because we've taken you through a journey here, through silliness, through steadiness, through strength, through warmth, through all kinds of dimensions. So now you must be feeling, oh my goodness, there's some sensations that are actually connecting me to this state that I'm not just saying the words, but something has shifted. I want to know what that is. But after you say what it's one last time, that's the best of all. Ready? Go. Go. One more time, simply saying it.
It is simple and easy for me to receive support.
Beautiful. Feel the gentleness that you feel how it brings tears to the eyes, tears of gratitude. This beautiful feeling that after all these years, you come to this simple statement of acknowledgement and embodiment and truth, which of course you always wanted. Yet, because of your willingness to be transparent, courageous, and vulnerable, I've been able with you to guide you through to this place where now, what are you going to remember from the exercise so that you can come back to this place when you need it the most? What just happened that shifted in your physical body, in your tears, in your gentleness, in the lengthening of your spine? What's shifted physically that you can recall right now?
Well, it's the many layers.
Yeah.
When people deal with old traumas, it's not just that, but it's the next one and the next time and the next time that they didn't feel support. So I've got further work with this on those other big events.
Yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Well, Deanna, I'm really touched that you have allowed me to guide you in this process. This is one of the processes I've developed over 50 years, and it's one of the main ways I enjoy bringing out people to the first by identifying, situations that needs to be transformed. I send it back to the source, identifying a new self-talk, multi-sensorizing it, and then noticing now the homework for you is what shifts, what breakthroughs, what progress continue to emerge in your thinking, speaking, writing, taking action, interacting in dreams. And if you're willing, I would love to take you further. And actually, if you find more layers of coming up, I would love to give you a session, further session in a week or two, and dive deeper if you found this valuable. This is what I do. Now you've got an experience of who and what I am all about.
No, I think there's a reason why I didn't reach out to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there's some things that I already do that are very similar. It's not
Yeah.
as expansive of this. Like my business is Up Your Vibe. And so when I teach all the sensories and all the pieces of that when you're in the midst of pain or whatever that is, if you can do something that brings that all in, and so that's amazing. So I appreciate that really big connection.
Yeah.
And I was told I was a court jester back for King Harry, no, King somebody. So I love to laugh and sing and be silly. So I appreciate that in you as well. And I think it's fascinating how we all just like end up exactly where we are every single time. And just the beautiful connection. So yes, I do take that that offer. I'll do some work, and I would like to do some stuff with you, and we'll figure out just how I can also give back to yeah, so we can make our skill set even grander.
Love that. I would feel honored to work with you more deeply as well. I've been invited to be an enrichment speaker on a luxury ocean liner leaving on its maiden voyage from Hawaii to Sydney in 3 weeks. So I'm going to be speaking as the jester about legends and folk tales, about tattoos and Maria and the legends of Hawaii for a few weeks in October. And I have time in the next 3 weeks. And then at the end of October, I'm back then. If you're open to it, I also have, it's what I do for a living. I'm happy to send you a donation link. If you're able to make a donation, I would feel honored. It's not necessary, but that's
how you roll. I mean, we're still here on Earth. It still flows that way. I get it.
What feels of equal value to what you feel you've received, that you can afford, that would feel wonderful to me. If you're open to that, that would be